rAVe Radio. With Rants and rAVes, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is Rants and rAVes with Gary Kayye.
Hey everyone, this is Gary Kayye, and I'm joined with Justin Shong, the General Manager and VP of Sales and Marketing from Jupiter. Hey Justin, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Gary?
I'm very excited because you're going to demonstrate something that no one has seen before. I teased it in the headline of this Rants and rAVes, and that is you have built a camera inside the display. But before we show it, I think it's important for people to understand how many things you've innovated in this industry, because Jupiter's been around a long time, 30 plus years. Talk about the timeline of events, because you've
Sure.
pioneered a lot in this industry.
Absolutely, right? Jupiter's been around 40 years. We're actually celebrating our 40th anniversary birthday this month. So founded in 1981, and we really did invent the video wall processor. Kind of weaved into our DNA, and we'll see a little bit farther on, is that kind of understanding what the market needs and bringing products to it that are focused around data and data visualization in particular. So our founders had a project at UCSF up here in San Francisco at the medical school where they wanted to show multiple images on a wall, and there wasn't any hardware that could do it. So they invented the video wall processor. And then from there that was 1981, we moved to that was an embedded BSD platform. Then we moved to a Windows-based platform. In 2007, we actually were the first people to bring AV over IP. So continuing to innovate, continuing to see things around the market. That was our PixelNet product, which is now in our second generation and still in business. Go ahead, Gary.
No, I remember PixelNet. It was a huge deal. I mean, no one was doing video wall processing that way, and you cut the costs out of a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, and we're still doing it. We're still powering things like building systems for Siemens building systems and airports and a lot of other things we're doing with PixelNet these days, as well as our traditional command and control stuff. And then as we've kind of evolved over then, we were the first to really add a management layer on the video wall processor, because before then it was, call it, admin centric, if you will, difficult to use, not real user friendly. We introduced Canvas in 2012. And that gave you a much more user-friendly interface for the actual operators in the control rooms to use. From there, we extended Canvas over, disparate networks to allow people to dial in from home, which is really playing into, the COVID situation over the last 2 years, where people are extending that control room to their couch, to Starbucks when people go back to Starbucks, and being able to emulate the control room from there. From there, we added a mobile solution to allow people to dial in on their mobile phone and either view the wall or use their phone or smart glasses as a feed back into the control room. So again, we've always been continually innovating and looking at what the market needed and figuring out how do we add value, how do we continue to stay, relevant in today's world and bring the solutions to the market that our customers are looking for.
Yeah, and of course in 2021, you did it again in 2020 and 2021 with the widescreen monitors on the market, 21:9. You've done some amazing things, and today we're going to show a pioneering technology, something that no one has ever seen before. In fact, at the beginning of this year, I wrote that in 2021. A manufacturer would debut a camera built inside of a display system. So why don't we show how that works? Because that LED behind you has that camera built into it, doesn't it?
It does. So behind me is our Xavis Active Matrix 1.2 millimeter pixel pitch LED wall. It is a chip on board technology, and it's an active matrix refresh. So it's not just the camera, but it's also low power, high refresh rate, and very low eye strain. But Chris, why don't we flip to the camera, and I'll show you what the embedded camera in the wall looks like. We're getting it? We're getting it. All right, so Gary, now, the camera is basically right in front of me, embedded in the wall. I'll step over to the side a little bit. We'll show you, we'll zoom in a little bit with the other camera, but it's invisible in the surface of the wall. And you're probably going to see me wave my hand over it here in a second. But
Yeah.
we embedded that camera, and we can put up to 64 of these cameras in a wall this size. So, you know, the real cool thing is doing, you know, eye-to-eye video conferencing. And, you know, our video technology has advanced so much over the years, but the experience really hasn't followed along with it because of, you know, sight lines and where cameras had to be placed. You ended up on a wall like this, which is going into many boardrooms these days. If you're on the far end, you're seeing this because the guy's looking up at the side of the wall or off to the side to get the camera, or the camera's pointing at the side of his face. This is a way to embed it in the wall itself.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So this is a brand new technology that you're going to have a chance to see in person at InfoComm and a couple other stops before they get to InfoComm. But let's show that 21 by 9 pano display that you introduced late last year, because that technology was pioneering at the time, and you've put it in a vertical configuration.
We have.
Yeah, where this is perfect for signage.
Yep. So for digital signage, we took our 105-inch Pana 21 by 9 5K monitor and rotated it into portrait mode. And as you can see, I'm 6'4", so standing next to this with the bottom of it's about 6-8 inches off the ground. The top of it is almost 9 feet up. So for digital signage, advertising, you know, high-end retail, hell, low-end retail for that matter, sports stadiums, all of those sorts of things, we think this is a very cool, unique look where you know, our more creative partners could come up with advertising to say, hey, I can make use of this.
Yep, that's very cool. And of course, you'll be at InfoComm showing this. You'll have the camera built into the LED technology. When will that ship, by the way? When will that camera-based technology ship?
Q1 of next year.
That's going to be amazing.
And we'll have some other stuff to debut at InfoComm as well. But one thing I wanted to talk about on the Pana was we also have an interactive version. And you're not going to see a really good look on it. But we have a front-end UI software on our interactive version that allows us to basically tap into the user's workflows. I just launched a browser window, but I could just as well launch a whiteboard and, you know, make it a real easy collaboration tool and take advantage of this aspect ratio. You and I talked about this in January, where, you know, people who might not be as tall as I am have a hard time reaching the top end of traditional 16 by 9 monitors. Here, people who may be a little vertically challenged can hit both the top and the bottom of the monitor, use all of the pixels available, and it's wide enough where you can have two people working side by side, either in the same window or different windows.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of spreading people out horizontally rather than vertically is a big benefit, I think, because you're gonna fill the walls rather than go floor to ceiling. I think going wall to wall is more important than floor to ceiling. So I think this 21 by 9 aspect ratio is that you've pioneered here on this display technology is going to be emulated by other companies out there. And of course, you can learn more at Jupiter.com, and you'll see them at InfoComm if you're going to InfoComm. But if you're not going to InfoComm, we will be there covering it live, so you'll have a chance to see all this new product being debuted officially in the market. Justin, thank you very much for joining me today. Congratulations on 40 years of innovation, and thank you for taking this opportunity to debut the camera and the display first here on rAVes and my Rants and rAVes podcast.
Thanks, Gary. It's our pleasure, and looking forward to seeing you in Orlando.
I will be there. Thanks. We'll see you all there too.
Okay. Bye.
rAVe Radio with Rants and